Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So this is the correction for test topic 11 circulatory system. So the first question says complete the passage by filling the blank with suitable words. So the diagram is being given to show how the blood circulation goes about your heart. From your heart it goes to the lungs. You can see there it goes to the lungs, and after that from the lungs it goes back to the heart, and that is the first time it goes to your heart. Then again, from your heart, it goes to all part of your body. Again, from your heart to the lungs to get oxygen, then back to your heart. And after that, it goes to all the part of your body, including your brain, your liver, your guts, and all part of your body. And once it have received enough oxygen, it will go back to your heart there. So now let's look at the words. Double circulation means the blood goes to the heart blank times. The important keyword here is double. Double means two. So two times. Many students actually answered 72. 72 is the heartbeat, but this one specifically means double circulation, so the answer is two times only. Second one, as you breathe in, the air will go through your nose. After your nose, it goes to your windpipe until it reaches both of your lungs. Remember your lungs. This is your nose, followed by your windpipe, followed by your lungs, which is on the left side and the right side of your body. In your lungs, there are air sacs called alveoli. We have done this before, so this is the air sacs in the lungs, and it is surrounded by blood vessels called capillaries. So capillaries. Many students answer oxygen, but oxygen is inside here. So oxygen will go out to the red blood cell, and at the same time red blood cell will give out carbon dioxide. So this is alveoli, which is the air sac, and this one is the capillary. And gaseous exchange will occur as shown in the diagram here, where oxygen will be given to the blood and carbon dioxide will be removed. Therefore, the blood will be rich in oxygen because you are in the lung right now. The oxygenated blood then goes to the heart through blank to the left atrium and left ventricle. It goes back in. So it goes back in from the lungs. Therefore, if lungs, what is the first thing you need to mention? Pulmonary. And since it's back in, it must be vein. Pulmonary vein. From there, the blood is then pumped through blank to all part of the body. If it's pumped to all part of the body, it must mean it goes away. If it goes away to all part of the body, you must have the letter A and A. Therefore, this is A and A. It is aorta to all part of the bodies, which include all your tissues and organs such as brain, livers, and guts. So I'm just referring to the diagrams here. Once the organ and tissues receive oxygen, because all the oxygen is already gone to the organ and tissue, there will be less oxygen. Therefore, the blood is now called deoxygenated. If you answer this, deoxygenated is good enough. Or if you want to be more specific, you can write down deoxygenated blood. It then goes back to the heart. Okay, goes back to the heart for the second time through blank into the right atrium and right ventricle. Just now, it's already mentioned here. It goes to all part of the body, and if it goes back from all part of the body, it must have two A, and back in V, C. Therefore, it is vena cava. It's not pulmonary vein because it's not from the lung. So vena cava. The process is then repeated again where the blood will be pumped to the lung and the rest of the body in a cycle. So this cycle will occur for 72 times per minute in a normal human resting condition. 72 times per minute or beats per minute. And that's how you get 7 marks for the first section. Number 2, state whether the statement is true or false. A. Heart is an organ. Organ is made up of a group of tissues, correct? And they are working together, correct? And they perform specific function, in this case to pump blood. Therefore, the first statement is true. B. Red blood cell transport oxygen and nutrients. Nutrients are transported by plasma. Therefore, second part is not true. It becomes false. C. The three blood vessels are atrium, ventricles, and capillaries. The only correct one here is capillaries. The first one should be artery, not atrium. Second one should be vein, not ventricle. Therefore, this one is also false. D. The valve is present to make sure blood flows in one direction only. I put caps here just to see whether you will get confused or not. This one is true. That is the main function of it, to make sure blood flows in one direction and prevent it from flowing backward as well. And E, if there is a hole between the left and right of the heart, it will not work properly as a pump. So this is your heart, and then this is the septum. If there is a hole in the septum, it will not be able to work properly, because if the blood try to goes in and out but there's a hole, it will not be able to create pressure. There will be no pressure and there will be no force. If there's no pressure and no force, the blood will just stay here and blood will be mixed. So this one is to see whether you can think critically, and this will be asked with you in year 9 and above. So this one is also false. If you are able to get 5 marks here, you did well, because this is critical thinking. Part of it is critical thinking and to see whether you're careless or not. So this is true. So don't be careless. So this is true. 5 marks. Next one, number 3, the leveling. So leveling of the heart, I've already done the revision with you several times, and I was hoping that you can memorize everything already. Now let's focus on the chamber. There are 2 chamber atas and 2 room or chamber bawah. The one the atas is number 6, atrium, AT, and also number 2, atrium as well. And there's 2 rooms di bawah called ventricle, which is number 5, ventricle, and number 4, it is also ventricle. Next one, you just have to add in where they are located. You should know this one is on the left side, so left atrium and left ventricle, and the other one should be right atrium and right ventricle. Number 3, we are not doing it because it's not for you guys. It's called heartstring. There's a scientific name for it, but I'm just gonna keep it simple as heartstrings. Now let's look at the blood vessels. There's 2 blood vessels on top that goes away If it goes away, it must be artery. And this one on the left side, it is thicker, therefore it must go to all part of the body. Therefore, number 8 is aorta. A, away. And this one, it's thinner and it's away. It must goes to the lung. Therefore, pulmonary artery. If you get all this part of this correct, it will help you a lot to get greens last time in the test. And this one, after it goes to the lungs, it needs to go back to the left side of the heart. And this part is called pulmonary vein. And vein being vein back into the heart. While this one, since it comes back from all part of the body, you choose A, and then since it come back V, C, therefore vena cava. And if you fill in everything correctly, you will get 8 marks. That is a lot of marks for this question. So number 1 there is VC, vena cava. Number 2 there is RA, right atrium. Number 4 is right ventricle. Number 5 is left ventricle. Number 6 is left atrium. Number 7 is pulmonary vein. Number 8 is aorta. And number 9 is pulmonary artery. If I mark you wrongly, please see me. And for those who are watching at home, you can text me if I mark you wrongly. Next one is the question that I find to be the most critical, and not many students are able to answer this one. Especially for part 1 and part 2, most students got it wrong. So let's read the question. Based on the diagram of the heart above, state the number of parts that contain most oxygenated blood. So the most oxygenated blood must first be on the left side. So the number is either 8, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, all these four. But if you look at 8 and 7, it's just a small tube. So it should be omitted. Now, look at the size of 5 and 6, and you can see that 5 has bigger space compared to 6. So 5 has more blood inside there, therefore it also has more oxygen. That's why the answer for number 1 is 5 for the left ventricle. And most deoxygenated, also look at the space here. It has the most space there, therefore it is number 4. Number 4. Yes, number 4 or the right ventricle. That's why I said this one is critical thinking, because you have to look at the diagram, understand the space inside your heart to get the answer for that one. So most deoxygenated on the right side. Under highest pressure, there are many choices. So under highest pressure, it means it must go to where? It must go to all parts of the body. And two possible answers I will accept for this one is it's where the heart pumps the blood the most, which is at number 5. That is where the blood is being pushed. And it must also be number 8, because that is the one where the blood is the smallest amount and being pushed strongly. Therefore, 5 and 8 is the two possible answer for that one. There are students who answer this one, number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope. I will not accept that. That will get a 0. The maximum answer is 2 numbers only. And lowest pressure should be where the blood goes back to your heart, which is possible to be number 1 or number 7 or number 2 or number 6, because atrium, the blood pressure should not be strong yet. So there are 4 possible answers: 1, 2, 6, and 7. If you write down any of those numbers, you get 1 marks. So again, lowest pressure is when it returns back to the heart. Because if the pressure is high, your heart will not be able to withstand it and you might get heart attack. Next question. Why are the valves present in the heart? There's a lot of valves there. There's 4 valves, and I told you guys it acts like a door. And some students answer because it is a door. No, that's not what I mean. Those are symbolic. And the valve is to make sure blood flows in one direction only. And to make sure blood flows in one direction. And this question, I give the hints already at true or false just now. If you look at true or false here, at number D, the valve is present to make sure blood flows in one direction only. Or the second possible answer is to prevent backflow of blood. So this is another common answer that you can use, especially year 9, year 10, and year 11, to prevent backflow of blood. And D, explain why the left side of the heart is thicker when compared to the right side of the heart. There's 2 ways to answer this one, and there's 2 marks. You can answer first, left side is thicker to withstand the force or pressure. That's 1 mark, as it is pumped to all parts of the body. That's another 1 mark. You have to mention it is pumped to all part of the body. That's why there is a pressure there. So 1 mark there, 1 mark there. Or if you compare it, because it pumps to all part of the body while the right side only pumps to the lung, I will also give you 2 marks. So this is another possible answers that you can give by making comparison between the 2 of them. E, part A, briefly give an explanation as to why does a person's heart beat faster when they're running compared to when they're just sitting down. It's because your body needs more oxygen and nutrients faster. You need to mention this as well. Your body needs more oxygen and nutrients faster when you are exercising. Okay, there's technical error just now. Nutrient faster when you are exercising. What would be the person's heartbeat when resting? It should be 60 to 72. Some students answer 200, some answer 1000, and one student answers 0. 0 means dead. So not 0. Definitely not 0. Okay. Last page. is about the blood vessels. So I printed the test paper for you in color as well, so that is served as a hint as well. The one at the middle is capillaries, Capillaries. If you have one spelling error, I mean one letter is misspelled, I still accept that. But if you have two or more letters wrong, I will not give marks for that one. And this one that is thicker than this one, it carries blood away, therefore this one is artery, away, and vein is in. Okay, so 3 marks if you mention artery or vein. Some of you write down pulmonary artery, some of you write down pulmonary vein. I will still accept that one because it's artery and vein mentioned there. If you write down atrium and ventricle, it's wrong. I do it here on purpose to confuse you. Three blood vessels are atrium and ventricle and capillaries, and some students do get tricked with that one. It could also happen in SPE, that's why I want you to really know the keywords there. State one main difference between blood vessels shown above. If you look there, there's 2 marks. So if you compare only arteries and vein, you will only get 1 mark. You need to compare arteries, vein, and capillaries. One of the things that you can compare is the thickness. Well, artery is the thickest, vein thinner, and capillaries thinnest. Or if you want to be more specific, one cell thick. This one cell thick will be very common in year 9 and above. Again, one cell thick. Another thing is you can talk about their function. Artery carry blood away from heart, which is a very long answer, but it's still correct. Vein carry blood back in, and capillaries exchange of substance. Whichever one you prefer, as long as you mention the comparison between the three, you get 2 marks. If you only mention comparison between 2 blood vessels, 1 mark. Okay, so please copy down all of the information there, so that when you revise for your mid-year exam, it will help you. There's not many questions on heart, so most of the time the questions are very similar, including in your exam. Last but not least is number 5. The diagram shows a sample of human blood as seen under microscope. Answer all the questions with relations to the blood components. One of the components of blood is not visible as the rest. Instead, what is the component? So if you look here, this one is the white blood cell. The rest of this round stuff is the red blood cell. So WBC mean white blood cell, RBC mean red blood cell, and this small thing you can still see are platelets. And there is one thing that you cannot see, which is the one spaces there, and that component is called plasma. So state what is the component. So just mention plasma. You don't have to mention the color. And briefly mention its function. Plasma is to transport or carry or to dissolve nutrients. As long as you mention any of those, you get 1 mark here and 1 mark for the function. If you answer it's where all the other components float, I will also accept that one. For B, describe what will happen with your body immediately when there is injury, which leads to bleeding. So those are the hints, and the component that is responsible if you bleed is called platelets. and it will help in blood clotting. So the keywords I'm looking for is platelets, 1 mark, blood clotting, 1 mark. There you go. Last but not least, C. When the injury is exposed to external environment, it is possible there will be bacteria. So the keyword there is bacteria trying to enter the body to cause harm. What will happen in the body as soon as it's detected? What happens is that there will be white blood cell, and the white blood cell will kill or engulf bacteria, and this one will protect the body. So the two things that I'm looking for is white blood cell, and second one is to engulf bacteria or to protect the body. That's how you get the 2 marks. So if you have answered everything correctly, you will get 40 out of 40. If you get 28 marks and above, you get green. If you get 26 and above, you get orange, and the rest. All right, if there's something wrong, you can always text me. Don't forget to subscribe and